Don't know if I'm live. Hope I am. Would love you guys to set the audio going. So I've just set the audio feed. I have had some issues. Please tell me, do a wave, do something. Please tell me if you have managed to connect. I'm 2 minutes late. I'll tell you what, this should be a lot more simple than it is. This YouTubing lark, this live streaming. Anyway, good. I've got some of my favourites here. No, I've got no favourites as such. Yes, I'm 2 minutes late. I don't know if you remember last time. I managed to get 2 streams going, and that's my excuse for there not being many people. But no, managed to get 2 streams going, and some people were on forever, and I never got going because I was on the other stream. So when I set this one up, I said I'm going to do this not using any other software. It's just going into YouTube, doing the stream. Everything's fine, except it didn't want to behave like that. So I'm forced to going back to what I had before. So I've got an echo. Oh, please tell me I haven't got an echo. Evening all. And anyone else confirm if I've got an echo? Oh, no, that might be... I don't know. I'm going to shut that YouTube page down. Do I sound echoey? Hi, Philip. Because I don't know why. Echo, echo, echo. Well, I'm going to start talking and hopefully start the show. Number 180, the March 2025 show. And thanks for coming along. Actually, I'm not getting any... can't hear an echo. Oh, good. Excellent. Refresh page. No, I'm not getting any data about how many of you are online. You might actually have more information than I have at the moment. Sounds good to you. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Normally I get a window over here and it says, oh, you can put all the stats. Let's try it again. This is great telly, isn't it? So docs. What do I want? I want stats. No, that's not telling me what I want. I want... Okay, docs. I want YouTube live control panel. I don't know. I've ended up with what I started. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about the fact that I haven't got all the information I would normally have. I've made a few changes here. It appears that I've got more work to do. Note to self, get more organised. But I actually did a test live recording after the last one because I was disappointed in how it went technically, and I just did it and it was all fine. But it seems that when I schedule it, it wants to use someone else's software, not YouTube's own. But it says 7 at the moment. Oh, good. Lucky 7. Well, anyway, feel free to come along. Hopefully people have got notifications or picked it up on Facebook. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming along. Really appreciate it. Potentially missing the England game, but not going to worry too much about England football, are we? So, usual thing where I just ramble on about what's been going on and then talk about what's coming up. It's quite a packed show, but I'll still rattle through it. And anything that you think of, questions, comments, feedback, just bung it in the chat and I'll do my best to read it out and get a response. So, well, firstly, health-wise, I've just got over an awful cold. It cleared in the last 2 days. The cold was building up from previous weekend. And I had my talk at the Surrey Museum on Wednesday morning. And I was feeling the cold kind of symptoms coming on, thinking, could do without this. Really could do without this. Thankfully, and I dosed myself up. Our notification didn't work, but you hear, and the England game is on mute. That's the best way to watch the England game. Hi, Carol, as well. And thanks for coming along, Ramsey. So anyway, so I felt rough. I got to I did dosed up with Lemsip Max capsule things. Did the talk, thoroughly enjoyed the talk, really good crowd, packed house. They couldn't fit any more people in the little space down there. And literally got home, dumped all the stuff, and then the cold basically took me over, completely wiped me out. So we had nice weather, didn't we, last week, up until the weekend-ish. And I was desperate to get out and mow the lawn and all that kind of stuff. Just couldn't do it. Didn't have any energy whatsoever. Went out yesterday with Sue up to town, not for a long time. And it started to feel a bit better, and it's still very slightly nasal. We've all had colds. We know what they're like. Male colds tend to be a lot worse than female colds. That's scientific. Insert sarcasm here, and please feel free to comment, but they are. Anyway, so it started to clear yesterday, and thankfully today I mowed the lawn. Stripes are back, and I'm ready for the show. So this was a great achievement. So dosing up right now. Yes, indeed, dose up. Hi, Guy. And obviously there's the various remedies on the market they kind of help a bit, I suppose. Take a couple of paras and feel sorry for yourself, and catch up with what were we watching? Gangs of London, Severance, Adolescence. So we watched some of those big kind of TV things that are doing the rounds at the moment. Up to 14 watching. Great, thank you. And of course, how have I let this get so far without mentioning that I hit the milestone of 2,000? 2017 subscribers just before the show started. And thank you so much for subscribing, for coming on to these, for commenting online on stuff that I do on the comments. Comments are brilliant. I love the comments, love getting in there, love the fact that they reach people in a certain way, nostalgia, whatever it might be. And just today I had someone, he'd been looking at the video of South Croydon that I did a year or two ago, and he said, was the Skylark pub the Green Shield stamp shop in South Croydon near Southend traffic lights? And it was, as far as I'm 99.9% sure it was. Feel free to comment. So entering man flu pity mode right now. Yeah, it's terrible, mate. It really is. Honey, fresh lemon and ginger will sort you out. Yeah. I mean, they kind of put all those flavourings in things, but probably, well, honey's fine. I bunged some of that in Lemsip, but yeah, ginger's quite good. I always feel I want lots of chilli and stuff like that to kind of really, help sweat it out, but you have to just let it take its course, unfortunately. So commented today. I replied to the comment as you do, and it was just great to have that dialogue. And there's a whole kind of package here. Yeah, I put videos online and people watch them, and I try and not take myself too seriously, but also get share the stories, and it's good fun. It's great fun. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't. But it's great that the channel's kind of just got this nice steady growth pattern to it as well. Really pleased with that. It was a Green Shield shop. Brilliant. Don't call him Honey, he's a married man. Love it. So the cold, yeah, that's hopefully done and dusted now. Sorry, I had a couple of nuts earlier. I'm still finding them. Too much information. No. Mum hasn't been very well, so also in amongst all the things that I do, it's been some extra running around for Mum. She's sort of getting a bit better now, so that's good. We'll have to see her today. But this stuff that I do, even though it's quite involved, out of choice, and rewarding and fulfilling, much more than any job ever would have been or was. You still have duties sometimes to do, family and errands and running around and support and all that kind of stuff. So so that's also been a factor. I'm watching the comments that are coming. In-laws have organised a Mother's Day lunch at the White Bear. Has anyone been since the refurb? Is it better? Yeah, they did quite a big refurb at the White Bear, didn't they? Which is just along the road from here, in that direction roughly. I've not been, Ramsey. Hopefully people have on the chat may have been to the White Bear. I thought the previous iteration of it was quite good. They always used to do really nice ice cream there. Not been though, so can't comment. So please let us know. London Draper's store. Okay, the Green Shield stamp shop. Did not know that. it's for me the if a building can be retained, that's good, because you still got the storage connected to the building. If I'm walking around with a camera, I can still kind of point at it and share what I might have found out about it. And that is obviously one of those buildings. So yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Lots of drapers and things, and that's just along the road from the furniture building, and there was shoes and all sorts of things going on. South Croydon, a lot of industry took place down there. What other things have been happening? I got an email the other day that the Swiss Lodge demolition starts on the 21st of April. Big boo to that. We tried to get it listed. It didn't happen. They gave the reasons. Probably, if I had to admit it, I would. All I'm hoping now is that once they've demolished it and cleared the site, sensible planning requests will come in, so that it's in keeping with what else is along Shirley Church Road, and that all the local neighbours are happy with the proposals. So White Bear went last year, not a fan of the large open plan restaurant area, missed the bar in separate areas, and expensive. Good evening, Mickey Droyboy. Right, okay, that's good to know. Good evening to the chat. And as I haven't got the information, what numbers are we up to now? If you can let me know, just not that I'd change what I do, but it's just nice to know what the numbers are like. Nice to know the crowd size. Yes, so of course, no, I won't. I was going to mention the breaking news from the US, but I'm not going to bother about the leaked war plans. Anyway, you'll see it on online later or wherever. Computer and Ethernet issues. So that was what happened before the January live show, and we got through that. And that was when there was a storm on, which I think the storm had something to do with the computer problem. I've had 3 or 4 recent calls with Apple where I've been giving them logs off of the machine, and they're going away and doing stuff with it. But hopefully they'll get that fixed. Very un-Apple-like in terms of how long they've taken to investigate it. But I've got senior engineers looking into the problem. So hopefully we'll get a resolution. 14. Great. That's pretty good. 14. Thank you all 14 for sharing your evening with the live show. Appreciate it. So yes, couple of talks done. I've forgotten what the other one was since the last meeting. Oh yes, I went on the 28th of Feb. Handra Green Airfield and Gardner family. That was in Sarnstead. Very nice group. Got a chat with some of the people afterwards up at Onslow Gardens. And then obviously, yes, the East Surrey Museum one last week. That one of the things that was good about that, there was about, I think, of the people that put their arms up, there's about hands up, hands and arms. I asked how many people subscribe to the channel and know about the videos. Yeah, it was about half-ish. And some people just like to go to local talks, so hopefully they enjoyed it. But it was very good for networking, because I've had 2 or 3 follow-ups since then. One is that I've been invited to a kind of tour of Bow Beach Reservoir down at Edenbridge Way, which I'm really looking forward to, getting close to that water story. And also BBC iPlayer, Thames water treatment. Yeah, unbelievable programs. So yeah, Bow Beach Reservoir. I've got an invite to St Lawrence's Church, the really old church, Caterham on the Hill, and that will include a tour around the belfry and that kind of stuff. That's probably in June, July time. And also an Industrial History Society guy got in touch with me, and yeah, we're going to set up some either talk or article or something like that. So that'd be good fun. So yeah, there was some really good spin-offs. Right, Gemma. Oh, hi Gemma. Hi Phil. What you're doing is amazing. Brings history of our home really alive. Stories and history are very important. They are indeed. And Gemma, thank you for your work on Swiss Lodge and others, and really appreciate it. Pete, the neighbour who lives on the other side, one side, contacted me, and he said really appreciate seeing the various sort of artworks and things that you've done there. So that's good. Sounds gone very echo. I really hope that I haven't got 2 streams running. Hang on, let me just check something. I'm just going to go to YouTube Studio Live. No, it says I can only see one here. Yeah, I hope there's not a problem. I don't know about the echoes. I mean, in terms of the room here, it's sort of deadened down with curtains. I actually bunged a cushion here and an old towel on the. I've tried to deaden it down as much as I can. Swiss Lodge is so sad. 322 people signed a petition. Thanks again for telling her story. Appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I mean, we got to tell these stories. We can't. Sadly, we can't save every building. I know from experience of having 2 attempts and 2 failures now, it's very hard to get something listed. And who knows, it might be third time lucky if I get to do that again. So, where are we? Old Coulsdon, Carol's on, isn't she? I think I saw Carol in the chat. There we go. Carol, Old Coulsdon Walk and Talk recorded, and it is being edited right now. It'll probably end up at about 20 minutes, so not too long. And this is based on a walk that I downloaded from the Bourne Society from 2011. Not a lot has changed, really. It's all about the history. So that is being edited now, and that will go live inside the week, hopefully. So Old Coulsdon Walk and Talk, nice area. We got a beautiful day to film it. Graham tagged along, so we kind of 2 heads are better than one when we're trying to follow trails and things. Thank you. You're most welcome. So yes, Old Coulsdon Walk and Talk. Nice to, and when I did my talk last week, I kind of did a little map of the bits in the area that I've covered, and there's quite a bit. They're quite condensed, and I know that even within those, there's more to revisit. So it'll take a while before I kind of branch outwards. Although I still do want to, I want to tackle Bletchley and some other West Wickham other places. So look forward to watching it. Yeah, it's good fun. We had fun doing that, and as I say, the weather really helped. Learnt a lot along the way. So yeah, Old Coulsdon Walk Talk is in edit. Marguerite Rathbone. I put the video of an interview that I did with Marguerite. Now, it was a little while ago. It took a bit of time to go through some things, and me finding my time to do some edits and share with the family, and then come back and do some changes and stuff. But yeah, that went live. What a remarkable lady. She'll be 105 in May. Remembers everything. Absolutely amazing attitude. And yeah, it's just, and she actually turned up at one of my talks back in September in Selsdon on Hampshire Green Airfield. Amazing lady. So if you get a chance to have a little look at that, got some lovely comments from there. So yeah, really, really proud piece of work to do, and very unlike, I suppose, what I usually do, where it's me. You'll hear my voice a couple of times in the video, but I'm literally just filming her in the chair at our house, and it was almost like how I'd do a commercial type of video, but really good fun. That was absolute sweetheart indeed. She is real treasure. Coombe Road station snippet. I can't remember if I'd done that before the last one. One of these little snippet videos. So that went out there. That's had some really good comments. There's a huge kind of railway community, which it's just in this area where we are, South London Borough kind of things, suburbia, lots of rail stations or sites thereof. But it's also, there's been some interesting spin-off pieces of information about war defences, tank blocks and the like, which I've had people comment before on the channel about. And also the Birdhurst area. There's some areas that I've been sent details of, 3 words, locations and that, things to pinpoint. So I haven't worked out yet how I'm going to do that. That might be a series of smaller videos, or if I can incorporate it in a walk. And also, I'd mentioned on one of these shows in the past that I wanted to do something around Crowhamhurst, Upper Selsdon Road, Fox Farm area. And someone got in touch with me by email last week saying that they live in one of the workers' cottages, former workers' cottages of Fox Farm. Invited me to pop in, said the kettle's on. So I'm going to do that. We're going to have a chat. Brilliant to get that kind of stuff through. And actually someone asked me after the talk last week, if I've been inside many of the houses or buildings that I've kind of filmed, and not as many as I would like. I sort of point out some of these, maybe when they've had a previous use, like an old pumping station or something, and just in case the owner might be having a look and invite me in. So that was good. That was you. Brilliant. Lovely. Thank you very much. Looking forward to meeting up with you, sir. Right, so other videos. Selsdon Residents Association 70th anniversary video from 1996. A lady got in touch with me called Emma, and she had this video, and she said, could it be produced or released on my channel, because there's a reasonable amount of subscribers and reach on the channel, and she was going to get it digitized. So that's what happened. We kind of did a little collaboration on it. She got it digitized, I downloaded it, did a couple of little edits. There was a bit where it was almost as if the tape had chewed up. There was a street party in Byron Road, I think, something like that. So I just did a few cuts and little tweaks here and there, edited the sound a little bit, and put it out on my channel. And it's, I think, I had a look earlier, it was rounded up, it was about 3,000 views in the first 2 weeks or so, which is wonderful. It's funny, I'd made a decision to not monetize that video. So the way YouTube works is that they kind of just run ads regardless. It's just sometimes they choose, or we can choose to monetize them if the content and boxes are ticked, and I get a very small amount for each play. I mean, it's tiny, but it's better than nothing. So I'd made a decision. I'm not going to monetize this. It's not my content. I went through the process of going to Selsdon Residents Association, getting all their confirmations and approvals, as had Emma. And so I said, yeah, monetization, no. When it went through the process, it did a copyright check, and there was, is it Pump Up the Jam, or one of those type of songs that was being played in a line dancing sequence in the old hall, Selsdon Hall, and it said copyright of a song has been noticed. You cannot monetize this. Any ad revenue will go to the artist, which is so I'm trying to be ethically right here. It's not my content. I was never going to monetize it, and they basically said, well, if they run ads on it, it's going to go to the artist for that song. So, but it's a lovely little video. It's nice because it's got things like the Selsdon garage when it was in operation. It's got the good old Selsdon lights, but the Selsdon Hall and Library and bits of the car park and all that sort of stuff. Just the little things, Probably the high street was a lot more busy then, although you don't see too much of that. But you do see certain shops, some that have changed hands multiple times since. So basically for me, it was a joy to be part of that little kind of group. And on Wednesday of this week, I'm giving a talk to the Selsdon Residents Association for their AGM. They're coming up to their centenary, which is kind of this year. The actual date is going to be 2026, but yeah, centenary. So they've invited me along to do a talk. It's only a short talk on Mountwood House and people that live there, which is quite interesting, hopefully. It is to me. So I'll be meeting some of the Selsdon residents people. Right, some comments. Old Headmaster at Monks Hill still alive, written many books on real-life murders in Selsdon, in Surrey and Sussex. One of the cases in Middlestown. Yeah. I will certainly look at that, Ramsey. Any news on the Selsdon Park estate? Birch. All I saw on Selsdon Park was that they had extended the sale listing. I mean, I don't ever know. I think they may have put it up for a year initially. I always thought administrators, the idea was to get a sale, pay off the dues and all that kind of stuff. But I think hopefully there'll be some activity there in the next 12 months. It could be, so this is my theory, that there is an interested party and they are perhaps playing a great negotiating tactic by extending their due diligence, that kind of stuff, so that hopefully they can maybe get a lower price. I don't know. That would be something that could be considered, I'm sure, as a tactic. So don't know anything else yet. I think it's still on that listing with Savills, I think, Selsdon Park. That was the first of my failures to try and get a listing, by the way. because there's just not enough of it now that you could point out and say that's original. That's basically where they're coming from with the listing. That was really where Swiss Lodge fell down. So not fell, you know what I mean. Looking to lease at one point. On that point, I've seen all of the land registry titles. It's a right mixed bag, actually. The stable block and all that kind of thing are the oldest, and I think freehold, and there's another bit of freehold, I think, on Addington Road. But the core building, the hotel itself, is on a very long lease. That I remember from I think it was also in Company's House from the various companies that have owned it. So yeah, I did some analysis with one of the Selsdon Resident Association people. So yes, other engagement recently about the good old Addington Stones. They were doing some work down there the other day. I'm not sure what, probably just services or something. This is the plot of land if you're going from Gravel Hill roundabout towards Lodge Lane roundabout, Addington Village roundabout, should we call it? And just before the Shell garage, there's a nice green area, very pleasant, a couple of little Leylandii trees and some stones, big stones. There were some buildings there years ago. They cleared the buildings. Why leave the stones? Probably just to make people like me have a mystery about it. I went to look, Dave M went to a camera club with Ramsey. Dave Malley. There you go, Ramsey. There've been some interesting connections made on the chat on this show, I suppose we could call it, podcast, live show. And I've got a thing for that, because on one of the talks I did about Hamsey Green Airfield, there were two people there that were older gentlemen now in their 70s, and they both went to school. Well, sorry, one was connected to another one that I referred to in the talk, and they went to school back in the day, 50, 60 years earlier. So what does that graffiti on my wall say? Great start. That is actually, it says South London and proud. It's a Christmas present, I think, a couple of years ago from Sue, my wife. And I don't know, I should have thought about this when I placed it, but it's kind of in the middle. But yeah, so where is it? Hard to point, reverse. There you go. South London and proud, Crystal Palace. The stones may have fallen off your Croydon Council lorry. Oh, and another thing. Did this happen? No, I think this happened after the last show. I do the technical stuff for Bourne Society monthly meetings where we have speakers and stuff. People who give talks, not like speak, you know what I mean. So I was given the talk, and in the little break thing went for a cup of tea, and there were a nice couple who look after Milbury Green Meadows, Milbury Green Farm, glamping site up in Chelsham, Worms Heath. And they mentioned that when I did one of my videos, I walked towards their cottage and then I turned in the other direction. That was the Nor Hill and Worms Heath video. And that's ironically Brian Thomas, who gave a talk at that meeting and has produced a brilliant book in conjunction with the Bourne Society on the birds of the Bourne area over many years. Fascinating talk, and I'm planning, if we can line it all up, to go out with him on a bird watching walk to that kind of area when the birds are migrating, so sort of late April, early May time, and see what we can spot. I don't know too much about how I'm going to put it together yet, but I'm going to rock up with my little binoculars and some camouflage and see what happens. No, I'm probably not going to do that. Right, so, but I'm going to do the walk. Dave, Selsdon Camera Club or Thornton Heath. 4 in a bed, that's exactly it. And that, thank you for that link, sir. Yes, I was going to mention that. So I chatted to my sister about having met the couple, because I think they were planning to come to the talk if they could last week in Caterham, and I sort of described them. They got this place in Morlingham, and she messaged me and said, I think that couple that you mentioned are on 4 in a bed. Sure enough, they were. So yeah, that was first and only time we watched 4 in a bed. But it was good entertainment. So, right, Selsdon, you won their competition, if I remember. Ramsey, I'm delighted that you connected up with an old camera buddy. Brilliant. So, I may have missed some stuff out, even though I've been talking for a little while, half an hour. But that's basically the sort of things that have been done. Now I'm going to move on. Now I'm going to move on to the sorts of things that are planned. Firstly, more talks. Now, I've got one next Wednesday at the Bourne Society meeting in Caterham. And then I've got another one. I've got the one Wednesday night. I don't know what day it is. One Wednesday night. One next Wednesday. One, I think, 2 Tuesdays after that. One at the end of April. And one in the first week of May. I hope I'll say about 5. I hope I haven't missed any. I think also that's the end of the talking season for a little while. I haven't really got any booked until September. So, and I think a lot of societies do that. They tend to break off and do other kind of outdoorsy things. But it's been good fun. Love doing that. So, looks like we're going to have a connection here on the old chat with Ramsey and Dave. That's great to see. Yes, so more talks. Now, some talks I do, they are ones that I've done before. I open the file, see if there's things that I might want to tweak or add or whatever, but broadly it's the same talk. Other ones, there's more work to do because it's like blank sheet of paper. So the one next week is kind of somewhere in between. But most of them I've got some kind of content that I can work with. So yeah, Old Coulsdon Live. Addington Forge I'm planning to do. They got in touch with me following me briefly mentioning them in another video. So I'm going to go down there, have a chat with them, work out a date when I can do some filming, because I want to kind of capture, obviously I'll have a chat with them inside, I want to capture some of the activity as well if I can. And it's a low light situation, so I might bring some more gear for that kind of shoot, so that'd be fun. So yeah, Addington Forge, Hewetts, greengrocers that was. Does anyone remember Hewetts, Caterham Valley, Croydon Road? But I know the Hewett family well, and I've got a lot of information to put together. Possibly that'll be a snippet, 4 or 5 minutes, something like that. But again, it's just me getting stuff together to go out and do that. Be a nice summer one. Croydon Water History. There was a hobbies fair at Wallingham Church Hall a couple of weekends ago. Really busy, really popular. And I went along there, and a lady came up to me and said, "Are you that video bloke?" And I said, yes. And she said, "I missed your talk on the history of the Croydon waterworks and stuff. Are you going to make a video of that?" So I've got all the stuff, and I say this almost every month. There will be a videoed version of the talk that I do on the history of Croydon waterworks. It's going to happen. Hopefully this summer. Tatsfield Part 2, there was a recent meeting about that, but I'm not sure. I need to catch up with Graham about that one. Reservoir visit, I mentioned. St Lawrence's Church I've mentioned, and also the walk with Brian Thomas I've mentioned. I can't speak. So basically, lots going on, and it's great fun doing all of that stuff. I don't really have a plan as such. Sometimes things do have more of a bearing on seasonality and that kind of stuff, but I need to kind of maybe I should do a plan. Anything in the pipeline with Croydon Airport? Well, I hope that you've seen the Croydon Airport video that I did, where Ian is basically presenting all the various bits of the airport. That was one of my big hitters. Don't know, a good few thousand views that one's had. I do have occasionally, there are some spin-off conversations about stories connected with the airport. In fact, Wadden pumping station site, that was connected with the airport because I used to use the chimney as a bit of a kind of guide. So I'm always on the lookout for anything airfield and airport related. I've got still the Glendon Bulmar Booth story to tell at some point. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do that. The story of the hurricane pilot who crashed into a garden. Actually, he crashed into the garden of the house owned by the grandson of Marguerite Rathbone. There you go. So I want to tell you a story. All your hard work is appreciated, Phil. It's so illuminating. Thank you very much, Dave. Really appreciate the feedback. I think it's, I mentioned earlier, it's way more fulfilling than any job of work I've ever done. It's a passionate thing, I suppose, and I try and get that across. I also kind of want to always do better. You can always... I'm never going to change what I do, but it'll evolve, I suppose. Part of it is just confidence about what you do, try and come across confident. And someone said, always leave a bit of yourself on a video that you put out there. So I try and do that as well. I quite like that idea. What did you do? Leave the landing light on. Very good. Jeff, you haven't lost your sense of humour, mate. I remember it from many moons ago on your Yamaha. Was it a gold-coloured FS1E? I think fizzy. Anyway, let's get back to the 1970s. So yeah. So basically, that's kind of what we're on. 40 minutes. That's the script. Any score in the England game yet, Ramsey? Have you got any? Tell us from your second screen. I haven't put any notifications up, but yeah, let us know if there's anything happening there. But yeah, I mean, feel free. Is there anything that you wanted to ask or suggest? Locations or subject matter? I'm all ears. As I say, one of the things about doing some of these local talks is about meeting people who just want to help maybe promote their bit of history. I mean, that's Lawrence's church goes back to the 11th century or something, one at Caterham on the Hill. When I did filming there, it was shut. I think it shut quite a lot, but yeah, I was told I'm going to get a certain level of access as part of this kind of tour, so I'm looking forward to that. 0-0. Oh, there you go. Actually, that was a little test that you're looking at that rather than this. No, I'm joking. Quite a few attempts on goal, but a bit frustrating. Well, what will happen is, you see, when we close off here, the football will go, mad. It'll just be highly entertaining, lots of goals. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. So, yeah. So yes, if there's anything, any areas, local areas you can suggest, or little subjects. Yes, so Julie, the Purley one was a heritage walk that I did. This is where I found a leaflet online from, I think is it Friends of Purley something, a group. They've got a Facebook page, and they produced this trail, and I basically went out and filmed it. So there's probably a lot more of Purley that I could do and cover. So I'm not ruling out that. I did do the then and now videos, the kind of dissolve blending thing. A lot of people like those in the talk last week when I did a couple of examples there. So I've done Purley, South Croydon, that kind of area in bits and pieces, but probably only scratched the surface, to be honest. There's a lot more to cover there. So we have got a great area. I think we kind of get bogged down in the state of Croydon town centre, which we're not going to fix that on this call. But there's still a lot of history, physical history there, architectural history, which I'm happy with that aspect. They've not decided to just flatten all of it, although apparently Old Town was quite nice before flyover came. But the surrounding area, there's still a lot going on. There's a lot of history, little pockets of history. Even Park Hill, there's still a couple of really nice houses up there, Coatlands and one next to the school, Thainscroft. So yeah, there's still some things there that, and that's why I wanted to do the snippets, because it means I can just nip out there. Literally, I'm out in an hour, and that includes travel time. Park up the car, walk to the spot, film it, come back, edit. So I quite like that. Can fit that into my diary. So, St Giles School. Yeah, swimming lessons. A few people said that to me, Ramsey, actually, that the swimming pool there was quite popular in that area. So the Windy Ridge video. Might be a bit modern for many. The changes and evolution of the schools along Picture Lane and maybe expand it to the older schools in the area. Yeah, that's a point there, because when I went to school, it was the infant school was kind of like a bit of a wooden building, quite a small square wooden building that was sort of in the grounds of the junior school that became middle school when we were there. Secondary school, I remember the swimming pool being built, sixth form block and all those kind of things. So the infant school is right around the corner now, primary school. And of course now they've got the floodlit sports pitches and all sorts. So yeah, there could be something there about the evolution of the schools. Belonged to a stone farm, Lee family estate. Could have maybe had a building there. I think there was definitely a farm building there where the Stones were, Gemma. My part of that mystery is, well, they cleared the rest of the site. Why leave the stones? And some of those stones have got the thumbnail for the video is my finger touching some ridges in the stones. And maybe one day someone has said, oh yeah, we just wanted to make it look decorative. You know, someone who may have been involved in the clearance of that land a few decades back might provide that information. Like the gap at 150 Limpsfield Road in Hamsey Green that I put a video out about. And then a guy emailed me and he said, my dad used to work for the planning department in Croydon. I remember him having the plans of what was going to be a big kind of estate in that area behind Wentworth Way in those lovely fields. And he said, and that was one of the entrance roads going to be to the estate. It changed a lot how it was actually developed pre and post-war, that area, because Wentworth Way was kind of built in about 3 different phases. So I think there might have been a lot of grand plans pre-war. War changed those things, which is why Folly Dean Crescent along Featherbed Lane is only half a crescent, because war happened and they never finished the rest of it. Yeah, bluebell season. I've done a couple of bluebell ones. Did one. I got up at dawn and went to see the sunrise and coming through the trees and the bluebells. I feel I should do something else up there, or either that one or go to another bluebell place. But Kingswood is wonderful. It's quite calming walking through there when all the bluebells are out in all their glory. So that's April, May time, isn't it? Sometimes it's better when we've had a slightly wetter spring, which we've had quite a dry March, haven't we? Dry, sunny. So yeah, that's always good. I find it very hard if I want to go somewhere nice where there's some interest. I find it hard to not go out with the camera. It's almost like, control yourself, man. But no, I tend to think of an excuse to, well, actually, if I could just do this or just go there, then it could become a video. So the number of videos that are up here that I need to actually just get out there. I see so much of my life through a lens. But yeah, cool. Right, well, we've reached about the 45-minute mark, which is about the average for these videos, shows, podcasts, whatever you want to call it. I'm once again going to spend time between this show and the next one working out the best technical setup. You don't need to worry about that, but I want to make sure that it's clean without echo and as seamless as possible. But we always get there in the end. Take your drone, or I can bring mine. Yeah, we mentioned that, didn't we, Ramsey? That might be cool, actually. We need to revisit that, where you could actually capture me on a drone doing a walk and talk. That'd be fun. Nice little bit of B-roll to slip into the video. So yeah, I'm up for that. Cool. So, anything else that anyone would like to fire in my direction? Last chance. Yeah, great to reacquaint with Dave. Hey, friends reunited, I should call this. Chat reunited. Oh, anyway, you know what I mean. But no, loved having the engagement once again, guys. It's good that I see some familiar names on here. And everyone's welcome, of course, but not everyone can always spare this particular slot. And some people watch the replay and all that kind of stuff. But no, I really do appreciate the engagement. It's good fun. So, well, now, Jeff, do you know, there's one thing I was thinking about, right? I was thinking, will Jeff mention about emailing me some photos? Because I think it's happened every month or every other month. So, Jeff, it'll finish 5-0. It's still 0-0. It'll finish 5. Jeff, right, to finish that, I'm going off in tangents. Right, emailing me. So, the address to use is phil@philswallow.com. 1 L in Phil, 2 L's in Swallow. phil@philswallow.com. But if the file size is quite big, then use wetransfer.com, because you can upload up to 2 gig of images and then just come over in sort of full width. If they're physical photos, then email me on that email address, phil@philswallow.com, and I'll send you my address. Because I think, are you down on the coast or something, Jeff? So yeah, mail might be the best way. Finishing on 16 viewers, cool. Yeah, I don't know what the secret is to get from 16 to 160 or 1600, but maybe one day. But it's just fun. It's just fun. I don't, numbers are great. Little community, wonderful. So yes, I'm going to say thank you very much, and look after yourselves, and continue doing what you're doing to help support me, because I love it. It's brilliant. Eastbourne, right? Yeah, email me and I'll reply with my address, and we'll get that sorted. So thank you all, and we will catch up again either in a month or before on any comments. And if you want to email me about anything, feel free. phil@philswallow.com. I'm on WhatsApp, I'm on Facebook, and all those other things. Viewers peaked at 19. Good. So you guys have got more stats than I have, because I couldn't get the stats window up, but that's part of my homework for the next one. So yeah, great. Great to speak to you all. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Where have you heard that before?